Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle. I'm joined today by White House reporter Haisten Willis. Haisten, the Biden administration had a big announcement for student loan debt relief. The forgiveness plan the details have been announced. It's been long anticipated. It's finally happened. Talk a little bit about what Biden's proposed and what he's going to do, and then we'll talk a little bit about the reaction he's gotten to it.
Sure. So Biden has been talking about this since the campaign trail. So at least for 2 years now, he's been talking about doing. The number has always been $10,000 of what they call a student debt cancellation or relief. For most of his term in office, and until the last few weeks, really, they've said Congress has to do this first. Once Congress does it, we'll be happy to sign this into law, but we're waiting on Congress. That stance obviously changed. They sort of have hinted since the spring that they may be doing this on their own. And then of course in the last few days, all of a sudden, I guess the dam kind of broke on that, and rumors leaked out, people had sources, and then yesterday they made it, or on Wednesday they made it 100% official that they are going to be doing this program. It's $10,000 for most people who have student loans. If you can make up to $125,000 as an individual, $250,000 as a household. And then if you received a Pell Grant, you can get up to $20,000. I believe if you're married and you both had Pell Grants, you could actually get basically $40,000 if you fit that particular category. So it's a pretty significant sum of money. I think the estimates are that in aggregate this would cost about $300 billion, which is quite a lot of money.
It is quite a lot of money. So there's been some reactions, including within the president's own party. There are some who think that it is too much, and it's too liberal, and it's too reliant on executive authority. Some people say it doesn't go far enough. A lot of the progressives would have liked to have seen a bigger, further reaching proposal to wipe out student loan debt. Joe Biden says it's just right. So sort of walk us through what Democrats are saying about this.
Yeah, I think the Biden administration would say that this is basically a compromise position. Senator Chuck Schumer, Senator Elizabeth Warren have both been pushing a $50,000 figure for a long time. The NAACP has pushed a $50,000 figure. Their leader even came out a few months ago and said that $10,000 is a slap in the face. That it was, almost worse than nothing, I guess, to say that $10,000 was adequate. On the other side, of course, conservatives have long been against this. There's no conservative I'm aware of that has said that they like this plan. But a few moderate Democrats, and especially those who are in competitive races, either House races or Senate races, have come out against it. Tim Ryan's probably the most notable one. He's running for Senate in Ohio against J.D. Vance. He came out and said he's paying off student loans right now, I believe is what the statement said, and he didn't think it was fair to have people who are blue-collar workers pay for someone else's college education.
And that's sort of the thing. So on the one hand, obviously there are policy arguments for it, but there are political arguments over this as well. And on the one hand, it's possible that this will motivate a lot of young voters to turn out, and that's a constituency that Democrats are counting on, but they often don't turn out in big enough numbers in midterm elections when the president's not on the ballot. But then there's also the fairness issue, and whether some people who either didn't go to college or went to college and paid off their student loans themselves, they're going to feel like they're getting shortchanged here to have to pay for this through the tax dollars.
Yeah, I think it's very much a political gamble by the White House. It's about 43 million people who have student loans. It's about $1.7 trillion that they owe collectively. It sounds like a lot, but that's only about 13% of the total population. 87% then does not. So you're having to count on people who are going to benefit this, plus people who I guess are sympathetic. Midterm elections, of course, are all about turnout. Democrats are known for not turning out as reliably in the midterm, so that's certainly part of the calculation, is that this would increase turnout. I talked to a Democratic strategist yesterday who was saying that he thought the $10,000 figure would help college-educated voters who are at this point more likely to vote for Democrats, would help them increase turnout. The Pell Grant idea, and the White House has said this, is also the idea to help black recipients of student loans, who black students are more likely to have had Pell Grants by about 2 to 1 compared to white students. So the strategist is saying that was also a nod to that, and that would help to increase black turnout. So that's what they're gambling on, and of course the conservatives, perhaps these more moderate Democrats, are saying there's going to be a backlash to that. People are saying, I didn't go to college, or I paid it off, or whatever. You're basically taking money away from me. I'm going to come out and vote, I guess, for the other side.
So finally, President Biden is getting involved in the midterm election campaign, and not only just by student loan forgiveness, but actually he's hitting the campaign trail after, spending some time on vacation, spending some time in COVID isolation. He's emerged from the basement. What are some of what they're going to do as they're trying to gin up Democratic turnout this fall?
Yeah, Biden has been sort of MIA for quite a while. He had about a 2-week bout with COVID. He never really got very sick, but he did isolate per their guidance. So he was kind of out of the spotlight then, and then spent a lot of the month of August also on vacation. He was in South Carolina, actually went down there and covered that for a few days, and then went right from South Carolina back to Delaware for more vacation. So he's finally come off of that. In fact, the day that he came back from vacation was when they announced the student loan thing, which I guess is on purpose. They're ready to kind of make this splash now that he's back. And he said for a long time he wants to spend more time out and about with voters. He feels that that's when he's at his best is slapping bags and talking to people and that kind of thing.
Retail politics.
Retail politics, exactly. And he is also sending out his cabinet members. So they're going to be kind of fanning out across the country from now until November to make appearances, try to get in the local media and meet with voters.
Ostensibly to talk about things the administration has done, but they certainly hope that will make the case for voting for Democrats in November.
Yes, of course. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to do is, get people to notice them, to see them, again, to see them on the local radio stations and TV stations and that kind of thing. And of course, yes, to go and make their case to voters.
So Biden's approval ratings are up a little bit now, but still, now that he's out on the trail, is it possible that some of the Democrats running for re-election are now going to go into hiding?
Well, that remains to be seen. Yeah, that has happened a few times. Stacey Abrams, who's running for governor of Georgia way back in January, Biden went to Georgia. She did not show up. I think a few of the high-profile Pennsylvania candidates, when he went to Pennsylvania a few months ago, did not show up. And I believe Tim Ryan, again, running for Senate in Ohio, has said that he's not going to be there when Biden goes to Ohio next week, if I have the timing right on that. So we'll see when he shows up who decides to be on stage with him and who doesn't.
A lot of scheduling conflicts. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
You can read Haisten and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.